Well, welcome everyone. Today is Friday, April the 11th, 2025. This is Coffee with Wes. My name is Wes, and I serve as the interim pastor at the First Baptist Church of Cutler. And thank you for joining me today. I'm running a little bit late. I mean, I'm not late on here, but I'm just late and getting ready to be on here. But anyway, I'm glad that I was able to get everything together and see you on this Friday, the last day of this week. The month of April is really going by rather quickly. In fact, this whole year is going by rather quickly. It started out 2025 in January, and I'm thinking like, wow, that was just like the day before yesterday. But it's springtime. We've gotten through the winter, I pray. And we in the springtime, getting through the storms, I pray. And now we're going to be able to enjoy some good weather and getting outside. And I'm looking forward to start doing these daily get-togethers outside underneath the umbrella on my back porch. So we'll hope to do that pretty soon. But anyway, we're going to wrap up today our discussion on John chapter 11. And John's account of Lazarus that he presents to us in John chapter 11 is ultimately, and we need to always remember this, is ultimately about the glory of God being revealed. You see, everything's about God. Not about us, it's about God. But because of God's great love and God's great compassion, he involves us and he looks out for the best for us because that gives him the greatest glory. So that's a pretty deep understanding deep understanding about who God is and what God does. And it's just almost impossible to get our head around it, but we keep trying, we keep going. But even in our hardest moments, and this is a good thought for us, even in our hardest moments, God can use those moments and those situations and those difficulties. God can use those things to bring him his glory. And what might look like to us and to those around us, what might look like defeat or hopelessness, oftentimes is the backdrop for God's greatest demonstration of his power. When we're at the rock bottom and we think there's nothing that can happen that would bring any sense or sort of victory out of this, God arises and he does something and it brings him glory. Let me read from John chapter 11. I'm going to read verses 3 through 7 to kind of set the scene of what we've already looked at this week. So the sister sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. They sent word to Jesus, Lazarus was sick. This is in John 11 verse 3. When Jesus heard this, he said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. He said it's for the glory of God, so that I may be glorified. Now, Jesus, and then here's a little aside, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So John wants us to know that. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Now, he loved Lazarus and he loved Martha and he loved Mary. And when he heard the news, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Doesn't make sense. And then he said to his disciples, let us go back to Judea. So Jesus' delay in going to Lazarus was purposeful. He wanted everyone to see the glory of God in this miraculous resurrection. So here's this. When we face challenges or trials, difficulties, remember that God's glory can be revealed in the midst of them if we trust him. Here's the thought for today. Here's something to take with you as you go through your Friday day. How can you see your current struggles, whatever they are, and we all have them, every one of us, we have our struggles. How can you see these struggles as an opportunity for God's glory to be revealed? How can God work in whatever the situation is? And then the challenge is, are you willing to trust? Are you willing to trust that even in hard times, God can use your situation for his glory? Do you believe that? Do you trust that? Think about that today. Think about this, reread this John chapter 11 if you have time, and again, pull out exactly what John is trying to teach us through all of this. Every situation that we are in, God can use it for his honor and for his glory if we'll trust him. Do you trust him today? Okay, folks, that's our Friday. That's our week. That's a wrap. We'll be back again, Lord willing, on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Hope to see you in worship on Sunday at First Baptist Church of Cutler. We're going to observe the Lord's Supper, ordinance of the church, and we're going to observe the ordinance of baptism. We have 2 candidates to baptize today, so we would really love for you to be a part of our worship time on Sunday at First Baptist Church of Cutler, beginning at 10:30 a.m. All right, folks, have a great weekend. See you again real soon. Bye now.